Welcome students of Richlands High School to the Prom Promise 2025 Biology 2 Anatomy classes mock car crash. What you're going to hear and see is exactly what the victims of a car crash would experience during and after the crash. This will occur in real time as it does in real situations. Fatal traffic crashes involving a drunk driver are the leading cause of death for teens in the United States. More teens die during prom season than any other time of the year. Today we are going to witness what takes place in a serious injury or fatal traffic crash. This is a head-on collision. This type of accident can occur anywhere, in a city, on a county road, or on a busy interstate highway. What you see before you is the results of a drunk driver. The most significant variable that affects the severity of the crash is speed. Consider the length of the football field, 300 feet. That is the distance needed to stop a vehicle traveling at 55 miles per hour to avoid an accident. Air crash occurred at 55 miles per hour, so the stopping distance should be the same 300 feet. But a drunk driver's reaction time is slowed, so the distance is increased. Our vehicles will be approaching a curve with the driver unaware of his speed. A crash at 55 miles per hour will produce the kind of damage and injury you will see before you today. Cars are designed to crash at 35 miles per hour. When two cars collide in the first tenth of a second, the front bumper and chrome frosting of the grillwork collapses. In the second tenth of a second, the hood raises, crumples, smashes into the windshield. The rear wheels lift off the ground. The front fender's back edge collapses over the front doors. In the third tenth of a second, the passengers start to fly forward at 55 miles per hour till they strike the inside of vehicles. At 20 times the normal force of gravity, their bodies would weigh 3,200 pounds. If their legs were straight, they would snap at the knee joints. In the fourth tenth of a second, 24 inches of the front of the car have been demolished, but the rear end is still traveling about 55 miles per hour along with all 5 passengers. The engine impacts into the other car. In the fifth tenth of a second, the brake pedal shears off into the floorboard. The car body bends in the middle, shearing bolts and welds. The rear of the car begins to fall. The rear wheels slam into the pavement. In the sixth tenth of a second, the body of the car was forced out of shape, ejecting the unrestrained rear seat passenger out the door window, jamming the door shut, and trapping the other victims inside the car. Now focus your attention on the video you are watching.
You guys go have fun. I'll hang out here and stay sober to drive. Hey guys, how was the party?
It was fun.
Are you okay to drive?
Yeah, I can still be the DD. All good.
Look, there's a truck. Let's race him.
Yeah, our car's faster. Let's do it.
I'll beep the horn to let him know we're ready to go.
These kids are gonna get hurt. I better get off and get out of their way.
Guys, answer me. Are you okay?
Lacey, James isn't waking up.
James, wake up. I'm calling 911. Where's my phone?
911, what's your emergency?
Help, we've been in a wreck. We were heading home from an after-prom party and we swerved to miss a bus and hit a tree head on.
Ma'am, can you tell me your location?
We're on Kent's Ridge Road.
How many cars are involved?
Maybe 2, I think a bus.
Are there any injuries?
My brother isn't waking up. I don't know about the others.
Remain calm. Emergency services are on the way.
The dispatcher sends a police unit, crash truck, and a rescue squad. Time is ticking away. The police officer will arrive within minutes. A 1050 PI is the police and rescue code for a car crash with injuries. One of the injured has extensive bleeding and only has minutes to live. The first police unit arrives on scene. The first concern of a policeman is to evaluate the scene. How many cars are involved? How many people? Could there be a fire? Could there be an explosion? Do we need extra units? The police officer will determine the condition of the victims. One of the car crash victims has just bled to death. A dead patient receives no immediate care. They will just be pushed to the side. All efforts will be directed towards saving lives. Fire and rescue has also arrived on the scene. They see a bus in the ditch and a car that has hit head-on into a tree. There are individuals trapped in the car, carnage on the ground, and possible victims trapped in the bus.
Officer to dispatch, I have arrived on the scene. It is a 2-vehicle crash. One is a school bus. We have multiple injuries. We need multiple ambulances.
Please help my brothers.
Yes, ma'am. Are you hurt?
I'll be fine. Just check on my brothers. I have to know if they are okay.
The door is jammed. Just hold on, boys. Help is near. Just hold on. I need to call dispatch. Officer Smith to dispatch. Advise extra medical units needed. Use lights and sirens. Get here ASAP. It's a whole group of kids who were just returning home from an after-prom party in a bus with some soccer players. There may be some bystanders involved as well.
What started as a fun night out for students at their high school prom has turned into a living nightmare. A night of joyful pictures, dancing with friends, and memories that would last a lifetime suddenly became a night full of images of carnage and death. Memories that will haunt those involved forever, and saying final goodbyes to family, friends, and loved ones. The driver's brother is critically injured, and several others from the soccer bus. Although those in the car and bus driver were wearing seatbelts, the intensive impact has caused many internal and external injuries. Those passengers on the bus were catapulted like live missiles inside the interior of the bus. Possible fatal internal injuries have been made during the accident. Internal organs are bleeding. Some victims' heads and bodies were rattled during the collision. Breaths are numbered. Those emergency personnel are trying to comfort those who are alert but help may not arrive in time to save their lives.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Hey, are you all okay?
Who are you? Why are you here?
I was driving the other car. I'm so sorry. I can't believe this happened. What have I done?
Have you been drinking? What's wrong with you?
We need an ambulance now. Oh my God, Allie doesn't look good. There's blood everywhere. The drunk driver realizes what she has done. Although rescue squads do everything in their power to arrive on scene in time to save lives, in this case it will be too late to save her brother, as well as other passengers. Sometimes people's injuries are too severe for even the best emergency treatment to save their life. It is a hard, cruel fact that not all injured people can be saved by medical treatment.
A police officer will secure the scene of the accident. Most of the time, a police officer is not trained in first aid. His job is to make the crash scene as safe as possible. Richlands Fire and Rescue have arrived on the scene. The fire department now takes over the crash scene. They will determine the most severely injured patients and the safest way to remove the injured. Currently, there have been 4 deaths from the crash and med flight has been requested. If they're in the way of saving lives, the firemen will move the dead crash victims' bodies to the side. The focus turns to disentangling the live crash victims from the twisted mess of metal that is the cars. The tool the Richlands Fire Department personnel are using is called a Hearst Rescue Tool, also called the Jaws of Life. It can exert 7,000 pounds of pressure at the tips. This tool reduces the time it takes to cut a person from a crash. This tool is a lifesaver. The quicker someone is freed from the crash, the quicker they are en route to the hospital. Having turned the scene over to the fire department, the police officer turns his attention to the drunk driver. The driver was wearing her seatbelt, so she was not critically injured. The airbag deployed, saving her from injury. She seems to be confused, but has received several cuts. Now please direct your attention to the crash scene. Let's listen in as the officer performs his duty.
Young lady, have you been drinking?
Yes, sir. No, sir. I don't know what to say.
Now is the time to tell the truth. Have you been drinking? If so, you need to tell me.
Yes, sir, I have.
I'm going to administer to you the field sobriety test. I need for you to walk this line heel to toe. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
Put your hands behind your back. You are under arrest for intoxication, manslaughter, and attempted vehicular manslaughter.
The police officer escorts the drunk driver to the police car. She turns to survey the scene. She realizes by the severity of all the injuries that lie before her that the best night of her life has turned into a nightmare that will never fade away. As reality sets in, she realizes that she is responsible for the death of several people. She is also responsible for causing a bus full of innocent athletes to be injured or die in a wrecked and mangled bus. She turns to see her brothers being removed from the scene by rescue personnel. Lying scattered on the ground are the bodies of innocent victims. They trusted her and climbed into her car for what they thought would be the finish to a wonderful night, only to be betrayed by her lack of good judgment. She chose to drink and drive rather than to protect her family on their ride home. EMS workers continue to rush to the aid of the injured. They will stop bleeding and support critical life functions. Time and vital effort will be spent on those who have a chance to survive. Now let's watch the medics as they perform their life-saving duties.
Clinch Valley Hospital, I have a young man that is alert and responsive, but has several lacerations with a great deal of bleeding. Medic Smith will start an IV and administer fluids and get him to the hospital ASAP to check for any internal injuries. I also have another male with multiple injuries. Possible broken femur, head injury, he is not alert, respirations are 8 and BP is 75/48. We have started an IV, but it doesn't look good. Due to his injuries, we are requesting MedFlight to transport to Bristol Regional Medical Center for the closest trauma unit to administer medical treatment.
EMS is working diligently to save the life of the brother of the drunk driver that is unresponsive. The bus driver is still pinned in the seat of the bus. He has started going in and out of consciousness due to the internal injuries that were unable to be detected at the scene. Firefighters are also working to remove the door from the car to provide the necessary treatment. The first female, who was triaged as Code Black, has just died. Sadly, nothing could be done to save her. She died in pain while struggling to breathe, feeling that she was suffocating. A few young men and ladies who were in the back seat of the soccer bus had been awake throughout the entire crash. They have heard the cries and screams of their friends as some of them die. Removal will take several minutes. There are so many dead and injured that help may not come in time.
Hi, this is JC Smith reporting live with WVVA Channel 6 News. We are on the scene of a devastating multiple car crash in Richlands, Virginia. The crash appears, from the condition of the wreckage, to have been at a high rate of speed. A car has crossed the median, swerved to miss a school bus, and hit a tree head-on. At this time, we have no details of the crash, aside from there being several teenage fatalities and an unresponsive bus driver. The cause of the crash seems to be a drunken driver. Here comes an officer. Officer, can you give us any details on the crash?
I know that there were several teenage individuals involved in the crash. There are several fatalities and many are critically injured. The driver of the vehicle that caused the accident was intoxicated. Some kids from the Richlands High School prom were involved and a bus of soccer players coming home from a tournament. It seems that the intoxicated driver swerved into the oncoming lane and struck a tree head-on, causing the bus to wreck as well. This is the community's worst nightmare. The one car had been to the prom, but the other vehicle, a bus of innocent athletes. It's really sad that one bad choice can cause so much pain and anguish. It's devastating that one of my officers will have to go to each of the families of the victims and tell them that their teenage son or daughter will not return home from the prom or their tournament. They were killed by a drunk driver.
What you have seen this afternoon has been a reenactment of an accident involving teens and a person who was under the influence while driving. This type of situation is not uncommon and has happened right here in this county in recent years. Now we will focus our attention to the center of the lawn for the funeral scene of a soccer player that died in the accident. This funeral is the reality behind the drunk driving tragedy we witnessed today. This is the family's last opportunity to say goodbye to their son. This goodbye is the result of a senseless decision by one young lady to get behind the wheel of a vehicle under the influence of alcohol. This tragedy ended this young man's life as well as several other teens. No matter how sorry one feels, no matter how one wishes to turn back time, time cannot be turned back. This wrong cannot be made right, and this mistake cannot be undone.
I would first like to take time to thank you all for coming here today. I might add that this ceremony would be difficult to sit through for many of you, including myself. Sometimes things happen that we cannot explain. Sometimes accidents lead to tragedies. This, my fellow friends, is certainly a tragedy. Let us remember the ones most affected by this drinking and driving accident. The mother, the father, siblings and close friends, and fellow athletes. Let us keep them in our thoughts and prayers. At this time, I would like to ask one of his teammates to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're gathered here today not just to mourn the loss of Allie, but also to celebrate the incredible impact she had on all of us. As a fellow athlete, I had the privilege of knowing Allie on and off the field. Allie was a true competitor, not just because of their athletic ability, but because of their relentless drive and unwavering commitment to the sport. I remember the extra hours we spent practicing, the way we would always push ourselves to improve, even when things were tough. This dedication was contagious and inspired us all to reach our full potential. But Allie was more than just an athlete. She was a friend, a teammate, and a role model. She taught us the importance of teamwork, sportsmanship, and perseverance. She was always willing to lend a helping hand, offer words of encouragement, or simply make us laugh. I'm not trying to place blame, but I'm so angry. This all could have been avoided. This did not have to happen. I shouldn't have to miss anything with my teammate. I shouldn't have to say goodbye. Now, all I have left is memories.
It's okay. You don't have to say anything more. Congregation, let's join in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for your presence today to offer us comfort and strength in such a tragic time. Briley's legacy extends beyond the field. He touched the lives of countless individuals through his passion for sports and unwavering spirit. We will miss him dearly, but his memory will live on. May he rest in peace, and may his legacy live on in the hearts of all who knew and loved them. Please send down your strength and peace to each one here today. I also pray for those that are overwhelmed with guilt that made fatal choices for others' lives, as well as their own. Only you, Lord, can give us the courage we need to get through such a tragedy. It is in your name, Jesus, that we pray. Amen.
Our hope for Richlands High School is that each one of you will be impacted to be cautious when making decisions in the future. Have an enjoyable, but more importantly, a safe prom. Remember, be wild and be free, but sober as can be.